Welcome you all to Recycling and Recovery Connect. It's a program by TechnoBiz. And today, in this program, we are going to have all details about M&J Recycling, a Denmark company, about their waste recycling technologies. And, today, we have the two executives of M&J Recycling, Mr. Morten Ramsøen. He's a commercial director of the M&J Recycling based in Denmark. Also, we have Ms. Tangilak Watanachakanan. She's the area sales manager for the Southeast Asian market. She's based in Thailand for the M&J Recycling. So from this session today, we're going to understand about what is M&J Recycling, what kind of technologies they offer, how their markets are. So let me invite Mr. Morten to give a presentation on M&J Recycling.
Thank you, Peram, and welcome to understanding a little bit about what M&J Recycling is all about. We pride ourselves to be one of the leading partners in the industry when it comes to waste shredding. In fact, we are a dedicated green tech company specializing in manufacturing and designing of industrial waste shredders. And we've been doing that for many years now, with more than 1,000 installations worldwide. And we continue to grow our installed base globally, heavily supported by our continued R&D efforts and being present in key markets. And I'm going to introduce you a little bit into what we are doing to keep that position in the future as well. But first and foremost, what we do is all based on a very in-depth understanding of our customers' requirements, and I hope you'll be able to recognize that that's what's dominating what we are doing and how we are moving forward into the future. So the partnerships we have with our customers, with our local partners, is really crucial, and also with our suppliers to bring out the best products for the markets in a fast and efficient and trustworthy way. What you see here is our headquarters in Denmark, and that's also the location that I'm sitting in. We've been in this location for 60 years roughly. You see the manufacturing facilities in the back and the office building to the front. So we have a little more than 50,000 square meters where we manufacture our shredders. Also the shredders we export to Asia are manufactured here in Denmark and then exported to Asia, supported by the local team in Bangkok and other places in Asia to give the best customer proximity we can achieve. M&J Recycling at a glance, we were founded in 1857, so quite some years ago. We are now owned by Alstrom Capital, a Finnish privately owned investment company, very long-term investments they are doing. Headquartered in Denmark with more than 50 million euro in turnover and growing rapidly. We have more than 140 employees today, with a growing number of the employees being based all around the world. More than 1,000 installations and more than 50 partners globally to give us proximity. And then we have our offices in China, Thailand, South Korea, US, UK, Sweden, Germany, and Poland, and then constantly growing. So really trying to be as close as possible to our customers and partners all around the world. We do have a footprint. As I said, we have our headquarters in Denmark. We have branch offices all around. We have partners, the green dots, in many countries. We only show one dot per country. So in many countries, we could have shown more than one dot, but really a widespread network of partners covering the key geographies that we need to cover in order to be a trustworthy global partner for waste recycling companies to support driving the green transition we all are dedicated to succeeding in for the better future of our children. Historical milestones: 1857 we were founded. 1910 we didn't do shredders in the beginning. That was an iron foundry. We started producing diesel engines in 1910, moved into our current facilities in 1964. In 1988, we acquired a patent for a shredder, which is still the dominating technology, and now it's the only technology we are doing. That's waste shredders, both pre and fine. Kun Lok will take you through some of the details. on that. In 2009, we were acquired by the Finnish Metso Group, who divested us in 21 because they were going to focus solely on mining and aggregates. And we were fortunately enough to be acquired by the Alström family. So we are in a very good long-term home now, just like any industrial player. So our tagline is with you all the way, and we really pay a big tribute to that, and we walk a long way to make sure that stays the way. We are really proud of our long-term customer relationships, the trustworthiness of our equipment, and how we deal and work with our customers globally. And that is really our company values and DNA. We have four keywords that we like to work around: high ambition always. So we really want to hold ourselves accountable for the commitments and results we promise. We are open and honest. We communicate actively, openly, and with integrity. It means that when you're dealing with M&J, you may not always hear us say yes, but you'll also hear us challenge quite significantly in order to make sure that our customers get the right solution for their needs and not just for us to sell something. Customer centric. We understand our customers' needs and bring our collective best to address them. That's also why we challenge a lot. We think in order to be successful for the long term, we need to act not only as sales and delivery people, but also as consultants to our customers, and getting it done together. We put high value on speed and execution. We need to be fast. We need to be agile. We need to work closely and not be a roadblock in anything we do internally, externally, and in the markets. With that being a quick introduction to who we are, I would like to hand over the microphone to Kun Lok, who will give you an introduction to our product line.
Dive a little bit in detail in our product lines. We will starting from the next presentations on the three type of the products. We have a stationary pre-shredders and file shredders and a mobile shredders. For the stationary shredder, is a fixed stationary that our customer would like to have in their buildings to shred it into a big size before shred it another times into a smaller size to send it into cement plants or waste to energy plants. And we also have a file shredders to generate a file products. And we also provide a mobile pre-shredder suitable for their perspective. Like customer normally will have a landfill to produce their alternative fuel, and they will have a mobile shredder on their site. And we will go a little bit in detail for each type of machines. For the stationary pre-shredders, right now we have two versions of the machines we call hydraulic drive, which is the original machines we produce. For this type of machines, we can generate up to 200 tons per hour for the products. Our machine is very, very unique machines. Customer can select the motors, the knife, so they can estimate the quantity of the products that can be generated from the shredder. So when we have to provide the machines, we not just put the machines on the size, but we sit down and talk for the requirements, what kind of machine that's suitable for real, and give the more benefits and more efficiency for the customers. And of course, as you can see, our machines can give a highly competitive OPEX. It means when you're doing the calculations on operating costs, you can earn the best unit price can cost from using the machines. Okay, let's go to the e-drive that we also produce. And we have launched our pre-shredder e-drive last year on May. And these generations of the machines, of course, as you can see, the technologies became more like electrical driven in present and also in the futures. And this machine is very easy for the maintenance. Of course, for the capacity is made only 100 tons per hour, but our productions, our R&D try to develop more and more. And for the operating cost is even better than the hydraulic versions. It can cost the electricity consumptions. So this will be the future of the pre-shredder. And then we will go to the fine shredder. For the fine shredder, we have 3 series. We can call a smaller, a medium, and a large model. And for the capacity of the machine, it can be reached up to 28 tons per ounce. And it will depend on the characteristics of the raw material. But of course, we can sit down and find some solution together. We will deliver a quality of the service and the machines. And for our technologies on the fine shredder, it's very easy for the maintenance. But now it's only hydraulic versions, and our team is developing the e-drive also, and I think it will be launched soon, and you can see the e-drive in this year. Okay, and we will go to the mobile shredders. For mobile shredder, we are very strong in Europe, and now a lot of the customer in Asia, they tend to buy a lot of mobile shredder because of right now landfill is the speeds for landfill is reducing every year. So the legacy waste is tend to be a good material for cement plants and waste to energies. For these mobile machines, very fit for the purpose, and it can generate up to 100 tons per hour, and is movable by itself, as you can see from the foot. And we have a magnet and a conveyor fix it together with the machines. We have 2 versions. We have hydraulic and e-drive for these mobile machines. And we can go to the next. As you can see, our mobile and pre-shredder and fine shredder, we have many types of machines that can service to many types of waste. Also, starting from household waste, as you can imagine, the household waste is the garbage from the house, the fresh one, and the legacy one from the landfill. C&I is the commercial and industrial waste from the factory. We can also process that. And C&D, the construction and demolition waste, plastic waste, bag opening. Some of the customer use our machines for their bag opening purpose before they're doing other activities. And we also receive bulky waste. Sometimes it's furniture waste, is wood waste that came from the house, also from the factory also, but the density is really light. We also provide our shredder into the recycling business, like paper and cardboard, plastic and PET bottle, and other types of waste like hazardous waste also. And next we will talking about the industry that normally use our shredder. Starting from a common plant is waste to energy and cement plants. They place our machines as a recycling equipment to pre-process their alternative fuel before putting into the furnace to generate electricity or generate the power. And also in another business is plastic recycling that also use our machines for the unveilings or for the shredding. And next one is the transfer stations. As you know that many landfill is very far from cement, from waste to energy plants. So transfer station is a building, a factory who receive a waste and then pre-process it, like cooking the waste before sending into the power plant, the cement, or like ready to use material. And the rest is waste to fuel, mechanical, biological treatment, also use our machines to pre-process it. The material recovery facility, a landfill, and other type of business also tend to using the recycling machine also. And we're talking about the next topic is close collaboration with our partners. As you can see from Morton's talking about the partners, we have both capital partners and service partner. When you're buying our machines, of course, you need the service maintenance teams to support you 24/7. Yes, we have a service partner all around the world. When we're selling the machines, of course, we plan to have a service partner to serve it when you have a troubleshoot. And now we have a program to develop the service partners. We train them, we certify them, and we give them a criteria to have an on-time and sense of emergency for the customer troubleshoot. And next, we will talk about our M&J R&D. Yes, as you can see, we have hydraulic versions, we have e-drive, because of our R&D team try to develop the products to fit into customer purpose and also to strengthen our position in the market. Of course, we deliver a good quality, but it will be better. We still developing every day to provide a better versions of the machines. And that's what we do with the R&D team. And M&J, we have a many case study all around the world. In each country, each regions of the world, they will generate a very, very different type of waste. APAC will be another story of European waste. And of course, our machine will serve the different purpose of each type. And yes, this is the case of Singapore. Well, I will not go in deep in each case, but we have a case study in Singapore with selling our machines, and then we also still providing the service for the maintenance still up to today. And now they're buying another machines to replace the old machines, and we still providing a service to continue their business. Yes, and this is a UK case. They place our machines and we can deliver more than 50% more output. As you can see, the lines, the waste they consume, only our pre-shredder can generate a very small size, very small fractions of the products, and then they send to the power plant, waste to energy plants. It can generate more benefits to the users. And this, you can see, not only a very good material that we consume, but very, very difficult one we also consume. We consume a various type of waste, like bulky waste. This is a plastic drum. Also, we can also consume, like, some of our customers also use our mobile machines for their end-of-life vehicle. And these kind of material can be trial with our demo machines with running in European regions, and this is one of the case that we doing for the customers. And this is all about M&J's products.
Thank you very much, Kun Tanyalak, and also Mr. Morton. Okay, fantastic presentation, very informative. And first of all, thank you very much for giving this presentation today for this Recycling and Recovery Connect. Yeah. I wanted to have a little conversation on the various issues, in addition to what you have presented, for the benefit of the industry and audience itself. Okay, when Morten mentioned it has history, 1857, man, pretty long time ago, huh? Very long time ago. It's historical company.
It's even before our grandparents were born. M&J was established. So yes, indeed, we do have a very, very long history, and we do have a pretty amazing museum in our headquarters where you can see some of the stuff we did prior to shredders. So that's definitely worthwhile seeing if you're ever coming to Denmark.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to ask you. Do you have a museum or not?
We do have a museum with, yes, with everything from headstones to fireplaces to diesel engines to, yes, all kinds of stuff in the museum that we have done over the years. But since, like I said, 1988, we've been focusing solely on shredders and waste recycling. So, and that has been a really, really amazing and fun journey all the way.
That's fantastic journey. I've seen. Before we get into details about shredders and the technology side, let's pay a little respect to our founders, M&J. Can you talk a little bit about M&J? I think this is very unique, and 1857 they started the company. So do you have some insights about M&J? Who are these M&J, and how that journey, please?
M&J is a short version because the Danish names are Møller and Jochumsen. And they are not really good names when you're working with export. They work well in Denmark, but outside of Denmark, Møller and Jochumsen is really not an easy way to pronounce your company name. But Møller and Jochumsen were two very innovative persons who saw a need in the eastern part of Jutland, the peninsula we are living on here in Denmark. That there was a lot of heavy industry, and there was a huge need for cast iron back in the days. So they started up a facility to produce cast iron products, and then they developed it pretty quickly over the years and became quite dominant in the local area. But of course, the local area back in 1857 was not as big as you would consider a local area today, because you had to be able to reach it with horses. But they grew and they grew, and they took in other types of jobs over the years. So we've been part of building bridges in Denmark as well many years ago. I still remember when I joined the company, my neighbor, he was really proud because he worked for Møller and Jochumsen probably close to 50 years ago. And he was part of the bridge building project where they built steel elements for a bridge in Denmark. And we've been all over the place in the history of Danish industry, supplying all kinds of things in steel for railroads, bridges, fireplaces, cast iron products for all kinds of things. So really a diverse history. But as I said, since '88, we've really been focusing on waste recycling. And then we are quite proud to be part of the waste recycling, because it is like our new owners, Alstrom, was saying, we need to build a better place for future generations. And that is really near and dear to us, that we help take part of that transition to have a better place also for the future generations.
So if both of you working for the historical company, must be very proud to work for that M&J. Yeah. So you mentioned in a presentation there are more than 1,000 installation across the world. You are taking as a commercial director, you're taking the global market. So which market is significant for M&J?
The most significant. If we look back in history, the most significant market for M&J was really Europe. But if you look at it today, and then with the growth we have done all over the world, we have expanded significantly our footprint in Europe, but we have grown even faster in Asia Pacific and in America. So Europe is not our dominant market anymore. It is really the export markets that are really dominating. And like Kun Lok, who's sitting in Thailand, in a few years we managed to build up a fairly strong team in the Bangkok office to cover the Asia Pacific region. Again, we want to be closer to our customers. We want to be closer to cultures. And even though we like to travel to Asia, living in Denmark, especially countries like Thailand, where the weather is a little bit nicer than it is in Denmark right now.
Yeah,
it's still better for customers to have the local team who are in the time zone, who understand the cultures, who are not off in odd hours and so on. So that has really helped us accelerate our position in the markets outside of Europe. We're quite proud of that, and we are quite proud that we managed to get so skilled people in our team to build our position. And then we have very high expectations also for the continued growth in a place like Southeast Asia and Asia Pacific in general.
Yeah. I think you have a blend of both Asian and Europe, technology side in terms of the technical support, sales support. It also you can expand aggressively in all around the world. Of course, Asia is a big market for you now, and in US as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's not because Europe has gone down. Europe has grown significantly, but we managed to outperform that growth in Asia Pacific and in the Americas.
I think the Asia market, because we are getting more conscious about environmental issues than much more than the before. I think that makes a difference, and the government regulations and requirements has been changing every year, so that also a driving force for environment technology in market in Asia.
And we clearly see that, and we also clearly hear that. I visit Asia many times every year, and every time I have meetings with officials and senior executives, they all talk about what we can do to build a better future, and how can we deal with the pollutions and CO2 reductions and growing landfills and no new permits coming up for this, and the growing middle class, which we all like, but the middle class is also generating more waste than what you saw in the past. So yes, there's a lot of things we need to handle in order to be in a good place, not only for ourselves but also for our children and grandchildren.
Yeah. So Kuntanilak, you are based in Bangkok, Thailand.
Yes.
And I think you are responsible for the Southeast Asian market, right? So can you talk about Southeast Asian market? What kind of which market is significant for the M&J, and which areas you're talking about? You guys shred everything anyway, of course, but certain markets are take a key role compared to other markets in terms of the product line. Can you elaborate on that, please? Yeah.
Yes, I would say that as you mentioned about the awareness of environmental and regulations, recently I think it's not only Thailand, but it's also in our neighbor like Myanmar, Cambodia, Vietnam, Malaysia also, and all of these countries is falling to the European step. It's not only who is in charge for this, but this is our responsible. Everyone needs to comply with that. And for Southeast Asia market, I would say the most aggressive market right now would be Thailand. As you can see, Thailand got a lot of effects on the coal price, and of course we have a big cement plant, three main big cement plant in Thailand that consume a lot of coal. Traditional coal, of course, they generate a lot of pollutions, air pollutions, and they affect a lot of from coal. So that's why they need an alternative fuel to replace that. That's why this a few years as a very aggressive development on the markets of RDF, the alternative fuel, and I can foresee that other country will follow step of Thailand, like Vietnam also, because as you may heard about the research on plastic consumptions on developing country, especially China and Vietnam, they consume a lot of plastic, and most of the plastic waste is going to landfill, of course, especially Vietnam, because they not affect much on coal price, and they have only two main players in cement plants. So we're working hard to try to not only selling the machine is one thing, but we're trying to participating into the conference to give the idea how we can turning the table. Just only landfill is not comply with the regulations. It's not good for the future. Even you have a lot of lands in Vietnam, but in the future that land will be gone anyway. So that's why we're trying to move forward to the neighbor more and more. But we cannot move very fast if the backyard is not ready. So that's why we need to prepare the service also. So we move step by step. So right now, I think Vietnam is very key potential to grow in the near futures. Malaysia also, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I think as you rightly mentioned about awareness makes a difference in Southeast Asia, and also that middle class growing, what of waste is creating. Let's look at the in municipal solid waste handling. We have lots of companies in Thailand itself. You're based in Thailand. Can you talk about that market potential for you? Okay, you're talking about cement plants, various other industry side of it, but utilities, public utilities, particularly the waste management companies. How is the market for you there?
I would say we have a very, very good success in the last 2 years. And when we're selling the machines, and that I say early, we not deliver only a quality machines, but we deliver a quality service also. So when we're selling, it's not about selling and selling and selling, but we deliver a good quality of service, and then they can say to others. So that's why we become more and more machines in Thailand right now, and I think years to come will be more and more machines also. And as I think you heard about the government already announced about the waste to energy plant that will build very soon, about 100 megawatts. Yes, and we try to be a part of that project. We try to deliver a good quality machines and generate a verified products into the business. And of course, Thailand will be our solid base for Southeast Asia for sure.
So M&J in the right location to serve the industry, yeah, right? So yeah, Bangkok is the right location. So
yes, I would say
you have presented three types of technology, okay? Pre-shredder, fine shredder, and also the mobile shredder. Among these three, which are more popular among industry, or maybe for let's Tanila, can you talk about your zone, your region, let's say Southeast Asian market? Yeah, please. Yeah.
I would say our most popular machines would be pre-shredder, a stationary pre-shredder. Yes, because a starting point from manage to have an RDF to supply to power plant or cement, you will have a pre-shredder first, and you can sell the products from the pre-shredder. And then the next step, you can have a fine shredder to a better quality of an RDF. And it's a very, very common shredder that we sell every year. But from last year, and I can see the trend from the customer point of view that in the near future, it will be more fine shredder, more to come of the fine shredder, yes. But we have a lot of pre-shredder, I can say that.
Okay, so pre-shredder is a big market. How about global market, Morten? What's your
that's I would say that's more or less the same. We come out of a history where we came out with the pre-shredder in '88 and have been really strong in that area ever since. In 2010, I believe it was, we acquired a Swiss company within fine shredding, so that's a little bit newer to us, but also delivering really good numbers to our growth. Mobile also delivering really good numbers to our growth, but opposite to the static installations, mobile is much more dominated by regions and even down to countries where there's a culture for what you need to do. So places like North America are really also mobile markets. Certain countries in Europe are really mobile on top of static systems, while other countries are not really into mobile yet, mostly because they haven't seen a need. If you put it into a landfill, you can get a much better compaction of your landfill, so you can extend the lifetime. If you have easy access or easier access to new permits, there's less of a willingness to invest in compaction. You also see certain places people are starting to mine old landfills to get to the valuables. That's typically also a mobile application where you put it in to get the valuables out of an old landfill. So yes, there's a lot of activities going in all the three segments we offer.
Let's look into, you mentioned that among all these three categories, you have hydraulic. Now you're introducing this e-drive, yeah. And how is the response so far? Tanila, you go first. I think you are introducing in the Asian market, right? So
Yes,
yeah. So how is what kind of response you're getting from the customers?
How's the feedback from the customer point of view, right? I would say when I say that, we have an e-drive for the pre-shredder, there seems to be very interesting in the another versions of the machines. But of course, the questions will comes along when you change the types of the machines. They're familiar with the way they work, familiar with the maintenance things. So when you come with the new versions of the machines, you have to describe in detail and give them an explanations on how to service the machines. And I think we will selling the machines on our eDrive in the near future for sure in Thailand, because everything now eDrive, the car, machines, yes, yeah.
And how is Morten for global side, global markets? You?
It's very much like Kun Lok is saying. It's really like the introduction of electrical cars. There are huge benefits to it, and it's really when you talk to customers and you talk about eDrive, you have your operational people. They really prefer to stay hydraulic because that's what they know. That's what they know works. They know how to service it. It's reliable. It's known and so on. But then when you talk to the finance people, and you talk about maybe getting a 40% reduction in your energy cost, they pay a lot of attention because energy has gone up, maybe not as much in Asia like it has in Europe, but with the war in Ukraine, energy prices have exploded in Europe, and there's a lot of geopolitical things affecting what energy prices are. So yes, there's a huge potential in it, and even in countries where energy has not increased as much as in other parts of the world, the saving is still so significant that it really generates a lot of attraction. But it is like your electrical car. Who wants to be the first to do it?
Yeah. That's always the case. That's always the case. When yeah. Oh, let's look at, you mentioned about, of course, everywhere is, electrical. So the one existing machines, can they upgrade into or convert into the eDrives? What are the challenges, or how easy or to convert in from hydraulic to eDrive? The customers are looking for it. Probably some of you are asking that, yeah.
It's really been one of the challenges in a both good and bad way, because the dynamics of an eDrive are really different compared to the hydraulic. So all the hydraulic versions we have out of the pre-sweaters, they're not built in a way where they can take the power of the eDrive and the torque curves and inertia of the eDrive. So for eDrive solutions for pre-sweaters, it has to be the new versions who are designed for eDrive from the beginning. Our fine sweaters, on the other hand, they can take eDrive. They've been designed in a way where they can do it, but the design is going back to '88. They're simply not rugged enough to the eDrive characteristics.
Okay. Let's look at the mechanical parts. I think the strength of a machine depends on the quality of the mechanical parts, right? The blades, the structure, the building of the machine. As you got a history of 1857. Can you give highlights about M&J's manufacturing the machine? Okay, please.
Yes, back in the days we did all manufacturing ourselves, but wanting to be a global company, we also need to be able to compete on local terms. So what we are doing today is we have outsourced a significant part of the raw manufacturing, so we can have independency from whatever happens anywhere in the world, and we can still source the parts, and then we do the final assembly, and a few of the key processes are still being done in the factory in Denmark. But we really want to have flexibility also when we're experiencing the growth we have. If we didn't have an outsourced model for sourcing parts, we would be struggling. So even though we still see significant growth, we are still capable of having decent delivery times to our customers, because we have the scale.
Can you talk about on the precision of the the blades? I think this is very important in the shredded, how long they last, right? That makes a difference in terms of there are a lot of other suppliers as well. So how the quality of the mechanical parts, what kind of stringent procedures you have, the quality control of the machine making. Yeah. So,
do you want to do that, Kun Lok? I can do it as well.
You can explain
Good.
on your view.
Yeah, well, what we do in M&J is we really praise the what we call open cutting table technology, where we use a fully welded construction. We do know that when you're really dealing with abrasive tough materials, if you try to bolt things on, especially into the pre-shredder, there's a risk that things break because they get fragile. But if we weld it up and we use really heavy duty steel qualities to do it, and we pay a lot of attention to the different steel qualities and different characteristics of the steel. So when we're welding it up, we really need to respect how to do it in the best possible way. So it's a little bit of a cumbersome process to do it. But when we do it that way, and when customers are maintaining according to the instructions, they can achieve exceptionally long lifetime of the knives and blades that we're using. But again, putting an exact number on lifetime is really difficult, because you have all the quartz in many waste types, and it's like sanding your equipment on a constant basis. So how good are you in maintaining, and how do you do it, and what type of materials are you using? But we typically see quite solid lifetimes of our products, and we also get constant feedback from our customers that even though certain parts can be expensive when you replace them, the overall cost of running the machine is really low, because your daily maintenance costs are really low, because it's all about the hard facing and not replacing parts on a constant basis.
So one of the things that you mentioned in your presentation is that you have a strong support of the service team, which is important, right? You just talked about the life. You can't predict, machine to machine changes, the company to company changes. But it's all, if you want to keep your machine to last longer and use it for a long time efficiently, it's also an important is your service team, right? So can you talk highlight more about how do you what kind of arrangements that you offer to the customers in terms of service?
From a high level, our model is really based on working with and through partners, especially on the service side of the business, because service is all about being local and close. Very few of us would like, if our car needs to go to the garage, that we have to take it 500 kilometers or across the border. So it needs to be someone who's local, and there's daily maintenance on all mechanical equipment anyway. So we really try to set up a tight-knit network of partners who can be close to our customers, who can go on site if something happens, if there's a concern of any kind, that they can go and be present with the customer, and then based on the customer's needs, make a service agreement with the customer that facilitates whatever needs they have. We're not firm advocates in saying you need, this is the model you have to follow, because there's so many differences in the waste and in the operation that our partners need to be able to of course have some models, but also tailor,
customize it,
tailor for the local needs.
Yeah. And I had a chance to meet your partner, Promect Resources, John Hamilton. Yeah, and I was very fortunate to see his service mode. I think he's servicing for the M&J shredder as well. And he has like an ambulance type, 24/7 now, with a ready to go any time, any call, So can maybe even Tanila can give some highlights about your partner that you experienced with Promect Resources.
As you mentioned about Promect, yes, we have a very good partner in Thailand that they have serviced all the machines that based in Thailand from the eastern area, central area, including southern area of Thailand. They're doing very good job, and the feedback from the customer is very good. They're very talented, and they're already trained by our staff. The technique they have is similar with all the staff M&J has, I would say that. And of course, as John mentions about 24/7 an ambulance thing, yes, he tried to deliver what he promised, as we promised to the customer under the name of M&J also.
Yeah, it's a good place. I visited Promac Resources, and his structure is plan, and the format is very useful for the industry to to serve them quickly. And so, yeah. Okay, one thing about the maybe I talk to Morten. Morten, operator training is key to not only the way you handle the machine, but can you talk about when somebody have machines and what kind of training you do offer? Okay, how it works.
Yeah, what we do is obviously when we deliver a new machine, training is always included, either by us, but most of our partners are also capable of performing the training, not only operational training, but also maintenance training and HSE training, because it is dangerous machines we're delivering and operating. So if you're not aware of what to do and what not to do, you can experience significant damages to human bodies. So yes, we pay a lot of attention to that. We train them in health and safety. We train them in operations. We train them in maintenance. We visit most of our customers, either ourselves or our partners, on at least one or twice per year to make sure they're confident in how they do it, how they operate it. It's really important for us that they know how to operate the machine, not only how to make it work, but also how to maintain it and get the best lifetime out of the equipment. So yes, we pay a lot of interest and a lot of attention to service and training directly and through our partner network. And it's really important for us also that our partner network is capable of doing it, because if we're close and local, we can do it much more effectively in local language, in local culture, in respect of how people operate in a specific country or region.
I just came to know. I came to know that from your colleague that there are a few technicians come from Thailand currently getting trained in cold weather of Denmark. So right.
Yeah, we have training classes more or less every week with people coming from all over the world to Denmark to be trained on the factory and as part of the certification, because we certify our service partners according to a pretty strict regime on what their capacities and capabilities need to be. So yes, we train them here in the factory. We also train them locally on equipment. But it is, as I mentioned, really important that our service network is more or less as capable of servicing and training and educating like we are, because they are our extended arm into the markets.
Super. It's been a good conversation, Morten and Kuntanilak. Before we end, one question I have is that, hey, you address every type of waste. I think Tanilak and you mentioned in the presentation that every type of waste can be shredded. But out of these, all the waste, all types of this waste, which is more difficult to shred? Is that construction or which one? Which one really damages the machine?
Unfortunately. Kunlak, go on.
I would not say that we can shred every material in the world. Some of the material from some part of the world may not be shredded by our machines, or it cannot run with the full capacity as the user expected. But we can say from the list that I shown that the C and D waste is the most difficult waste in the list, but other type of material that not included in the list also is sometimes we cannot say that could not be the waste that we can shred it with the full capacity or the highest efficiencies. Yeah.
Well said. Okay, so before I end this session, I do request you to give a final remarks for the audience, for all the viewers. Kuntanilak, what are your final remarks, please?
Yes, I would like to meet all of the people who in the waste business, in the exhibitions in recycling and recovery, and hopefully that we can give the benefit back to you all with our knowledge, know-how on our equipment or waste management business. It's not only you have to buy the machines, but we can sharing the information at the exhibitions. Yes.
Interesting. So if somebody were looking forward to meet Kun Tanilak and MNJ team, please do visit Recycling and Recovery Expo during the 29 to 30 March in Bangkok at Vitech. This is my promo for the event. Okay. And so Morten, what's your final remarks with reference to the global market and M&J?
Yeah, thank you very much for having this meeting, Peram. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I would say that in line with what Kun Lok is saying, if anywhere in the world anyone is having a challenge, feel free to challenge us. We are definitely up for all the challenges within solid waste you can throw at us. Kun Lok has numerous colleagues all around. We have a lot of partners all over the world who are more than willing to engage into dialogues and to be challenged and have a discussion with all customers around on what we can do to help their needs, solve their pain points. And as we say, our purpose is really to solve everything one sweat at a time.
Guys, Mr. Morten, Kun Tanilak, thank you very much for joining this session today and giving all the information on the M&J recycling, what are the technologies, various technical features, and also the markets, and how the markets are changing and what kind of developments are in various markets. Thank you, both of you, for being part of the Recycling and Recovery Connect program today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peram.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, that's the end of this session today on the Recycling and Recovery Connect. And on M&J Recycling, as you see, they are one of the leaders of the waste shredders. You can find, they have free shredders, fine shredders, and also mobile shredders. They're having both hydraulic and in the e-drive based. And you can see they have a huge history, and if you need more information on the M&J Recycling or their technology, please do check our website and also visit them at our show in Thailand during the 29 to 30 March 2023 in Bangkok at Bangkok International Trade and